Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cohere Hackathon number 3. It's great to have you here. Great to see you on this Friday afternoon. And hopefully you're ready to start. I'm Alexander Jankowski. I'm the partner and operations manager for New Native, who's the owner of the lablab.ai platform. And I'm going to be here to make everything a little bit more smooth. I've also got Jinx here. So apologies if Jinx gets in the way, but he's there you go. Jinx is trying to, get in the way as usual. So today's schedule is basically we're going to have a bit of an introduction, tell you more about our initiative of bringing AI to everybody and spreading the good word within artificial intelligence and coding. And we're also going to have a small introduction of Cohere and tell you exactly how it works and introduce Hemant Jane, sorry, if I butchered that name, definitely did. And then introduce you to the challenge and overall schedule for the hackathon. And then basically kick off the whole event. On Saturday, we're going to introduce 2 interview sections where we're going to pull out participants and ask you some interesting questions. There might be some additional rewards and additional interesting facts that you may learn through these interviews. So we strongly encourage everybody to participate. At 8 p.m. CEST time, we're going to have a Cohere Trivia, and we're going to give you an opportunity to win even more Cohere credits. And at 9 to 9:30, we're going to have a Q&A session with Pavel and Matthias on how to get funding for your startup. So if you're not only here to learn about how to use Cohere and AI, but also here as a startup founder, then I highly encourage you to, ask them any questions you may have around startups. And on Sunday, we're going to close off with interviews with participants. And from 6 p.m. onwards, we're going to have Teams live presentations. The reason for that is this time, we're going to have 2 modes for you to submit your end presentations. So one of them is going to be through the submission form and through the submission link in lablab.ai, and the other one is going to be for you to reach out to our wonderful organizer Kuba on Discord and let him know that you'd like to present live, and we will give you that opportunity on stream. And after, we will cut up that stream into pieces and have our judges review your presentations through that. The final deadline for the submission is midnight on Sunday. And just to give you a little bit more background on the lablab.ai initiative, we're basically trying to give everybody access to the newest and greatest in the world of AI development. And we're doing this through a series of events. So if anybody's interested, well, of course you're interested, you're already here. But if you want to know more and grow more within AI and within the dev, then I strongly encourage you follow along and check out from time to time. We're going to be publishing more and more events, and we're going to have really exciting things coming. So what's New Native, and how does it even relate? Basically, we are the company that has started LabLab and has started this initiative. So we are the people who are behind putting this all together. But I'm not going to spoil too much. I'm not going to say too much about this because Matthias is going to take a little while to go into more details on what exactly we do. So Cohere is our wonderful sponsor for this event. And as probably most of you know, they handle a platform that gives computers the ability to read and write, basically. And if you want to process text or process what people are saying online, then this is exactly all you need. Just a kind reminder that Cohere is providing $300 worth of credits for each participant that registers for the next 3 hours. So if you have any friends who may find this information particularly useful, let them know, have them join in. Cohere will provide them with $300 worth. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Matthias now. If you'd be so kind and shed more light about what new native and what is lablab AI doing?
Yes, for sure. You're welcome to stay, of course, also if you want, Alec, but that's up to your preferences. I hope my sound is okay. It had been a bit choppy today, so okay, awesome. Yes, so we are from New Native, and basically we are super passionate about accelerating innovation. We believe this is important overall for everyone and humankind, so to say. And we believe the best way to do this is to find the best ways to actually help AI companies to move forward really fast. And in this era of time, so to say, we are standing in front of probably the biggest shift in how to say human lifetime, where basically everything digital is going to be impacted. The 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 progression we had in AI, especially over the last 2-3 years, have really opened up a new world and a new way of building software. So, take for example the technologies that you can find through Cohere. They both give amazing capabilities to do stuff that traditionally would have taken, best case, maybe a week or a couple of months or even longer to build such a function. Say you want to classify a text or something, but with systems as the ones from Cohere, you can build these functionalities in like matter of seconds, and you can do it often also without having spent your last 10 years in front of a computer screen. You, Alexander, you are not a developer, say, in your base, and I guess you are using these technologies day to day, basically.
Exactly. To write posts, to, change what I've written in emails, to change my marketing materials. Guys, this is a revolution, and the people who are not on the train, they are going to miss the stop, and they are going to be, well, quite sad when, others get ahead and they don't understand. But why is, company that's using AI 30-40% more efficient? Why? And it's going to be too late, because at the time when everybody's aware of it, we're already going to be ahead. So that's the general plan, to push humanity forward. And I strongly believe that the people that look at the technology and understand the technology, they become what we call believers, and instantly they start understanding that the future is here and it's really changing. It's really like it's not about the money, it's about the technology. The people that control the technology in the future are going to be in charge.
Yeah, definitely. So really what we see is that the way we both write and operate software are fundamentally changing. I can say this with confidence because I am one of those that spent a lot more than 10 years all my awakened time in front of a computer building everything from email form to some of the top systems in the world, and it's truly changing right now. And I really encourage everyone that are with us today that will build something that really think like AI component wise. So if you take one function from Cohere, you take another function and maybe you find a voice to speech AI model somewhere, and you start to connect these pieces together, you can really build amazing stuff in record time. And a way to really come up with these great ideas is also to try to think about like what is recurring things you are encountering maybe in your day to day. And here's very useful also to actually have people in a team with a very diverse background and domain expertise, because hardcore tech people as myself, believe it or not, we are not always the ones coming up with the great ideas here. We tend to start looping things out. So every team that still have spots free, and you are just a team of 5 developers, make sure that last person comes from some totally other area, and I'm sure you together will come up with some really great stuff. Yeah, so basically we are all about accelerating innovation, and one of the big things we are doing is the lablab platform. We just want to handpick basically the technologies that we see are going to have a big impact in the near future, and get a lot of people to actually jump on and start to innovate on this. So yeah, truly exciting times, and I wish you all the best of luck today. Best of luck this week.
Absolutely. I strongly believe that, we were born too late to explore planet Earth. We were born too early to explore space, but we were born right on time to explore the change in data processing and AI. So this is definitely my, boat to feeling like I'm doing something that's life-changing. But that being said, I think we are good to proceed to Hemant, right? If I did not butcher your name initially. My
You're good.
apologies if I really did in the very, very beginning. Could you tell us more about Cohere? What's your vision, and what do you do?
Sure. So I'm a part of the model serving team at Cohere. The general vision of Cohere is to democratize natural language as a service so that people don't have to worry about training models or worry about like the complexities of serving them. They just call our API and we handle the rest, right? We want to give them the best user experience in terms of latencies, in terms of throughput, and that's what my team focuses on. And then diving a little more into myself to give people context, largely I've worked on an open source solution called Triton Inference Server. I joined Cohere only 2 months ago. So I'm still fairly new, but I think that brings a lot of new energy, a lot of new learning, and that gives me the opportunity to see Cohere from an outsider's perspective. As I see it, Cohere's vision is strongly motivating us to push through the boundaries of what's possible. Serving large language models isn't just a challenge that is faced by us, it's faced by every company out there trying to make NLP accessible to users. So if someone comes in and tries to use a service, we want to make sure they get the state of the art service availabilities for it, right? And that means not just focusing on getting good quality models out there, but giving users the user experience and the ability to use models without having a deep understanding about how they work or what deep learning even is. The goal in the future would be maybe for Cohere to have an interface where someone knows maybe a little bit code and that's it. And they come and they build these incredible solutions out of our APIs without even having an idea of what the model internally does.
Super cool. Hemant, could you perhaps tell us a little bit more about technology? Because for me, it was a game changer when I started looking at AI. Everybody's easiest example is Midjourney and Dolly 2 and these image generators, because it's easiest to paint a picture, right, instead of showing an example. So could you tell us an example of when, for you, you understood that Cohere was, something that was a tool for really doing a lot in a very short time, like the bridge, the jump from a bicycle to a car?
So to give you context, around 6 years ago, I worked on taking glove embeddings, which was the state of the art at that point of time, and building like a contextual clustering algorithm from it. So to do that, we would end up taking these embeddings out of like these large word-to-vec models and use those embeddings, which is just numbers representing the words, something that the computer understands, right? And building applications out of that. This was costly. It required you to have GPUs to be able to extract embeddings. It was very slow on CPUs. And just the ability to access these weights was painful, right? You had to apply for permissions. You had to then go around getting resources to run these things. Today, to build something similar like that, it will take me 45 minutes, whereas it took me like 4 to 5 days, right? And I think that's where innovation truly happens. When you take something that used to take 4 days and make it happen in 4 hours or 4 days, even, you'd see people experiment with ideas and have the ability to iterate way faster, right? And just like humans evolve, so do algorithms evolve and solutions evolve when you make the ability to iterate much faster. I think of Cohere as a way to like express evolutionary algorithms if they were natural language. So every time we launch a new service out there, it's like a new generation, right? Which means you can do way more things. You're way more capable. Maybe it's like 5 times faster. Maybe it's like 5 times better quality. But every time that happens, as the iteration progresses, we can build more and more powerful solutions and push the boundary on what's possible. In terms of the technologies that Cohere uses, we generally serve like large language models and have several endpoints like generate, embed, and classify, which is the theme of this hackathon. I personally worked on improving and adding, uh, I guess, support and expansive stuff to the classify endpoint, which allows us to do like something called few shot classification. Back in the year, if you wanted to do what's now formally referred to as transfer learning, you had to take these models and build wrappers around them, host them again, and do a bunch of other things, right? For someone who didn't have a strong understanding of what deep learning was, this was like a black box. You had no idea what you were doing. With Cohere, that black box is now handled by us. So you don't need to worry about doing all of that. You can, on a simple system or even like a Flask app or a simple Python application, right? Just build intelligence into it. And I think that's amazing. One of the examples we worked on recently for a hackathon was this project called Ask Jeeves. So in the early 2000s, there was a website that had like a question answer based system, right? And that worked in a very lousy manner. It wasn't accurate. It couldn't do so many things. 20 years from now, from then, we see the ability for us to build these applications that weren't possible in a matter of a day because of Cohere. And I think that's where the benefit lies. And I like the fact that there's a hackathon around it. I want people to think of Cohere as not just a one-point solution, but to build solutions from us. I want it to be like the base of a way larger application.
Okay, obviously you live and breathe classify, but could you tell for the more ignorant ones among us, like myself, well, definitely myself, what exactly is classify and what was it built for exactly?
Yeah. So the ability to distinguish between two sentences is extremely powerful. So it could be something like distinguishing whether something is a positive sentiment or a negative sentiment. An email is like a spam email or not, or even something as granular as what is the kind of question that is being asked. Is it regarding shipping or handling? Is it regarding something else, right? Classify is powerful because it allows you to take these pre-existing models and just give them a few examples and then build entire new classifiers out of them. So even without knowing how classify works or how to train one, we allow you to be able to classify almost anything. An example of this would be take like all the tweets that you've ever written, give us a few examples of the tweets and a class label, like if you wrote it about like a product, or if you wrote it about like a news update, or if you wrote it about like a status update, and it'll be able to classify. It's much faster than it was a month or so ago, and we expect users to be able to use this to do almost anything. I don't want to force the ideas of what could do, but I want people to come out and say that I could classify these two things, and this is the application I could bring around with it.
Very cool. And I think there are so many potential uses. Just listening to you, I'm thinking to myself, like, if we can spot and sort emotions and we can classify, internet information with today's social media, with the amount of Twitter messages, with anything, this can be used commercially, this can be used psychologically, this can be used for research, this is 1,001 ideas in one. So I hope everybody's head is already starting to work and starting to process. But Hemant, would you like to add anything else, or do you think we can move on?
There's one last thing I'd like to add. So, as I said, you just gave a specific number of examples to improve a classifier. I want people to experiment with like different kinds of examples and look at what works best. But I guess apart from the classifier side of things, you should think about a classification task as a way to discriminate between two different choices you have to make. And I think that's the hint I'll give you with the kind of project you should work on.
Oh, great advantage for everybody watching the kickoff stream. So thank you very much for that. And I think we are good to move on with the presentation. So Helmut, thank you so much for bringing Cohere to everybody that's watching, and making everybody a little bit smarter, I think.
Yeah.
But then let's, I think, move on and check exactly how things are going to work. So
Thanks for having me, Alex.
thank you for being here. So, guys, in general, the guide for this hackathon is to first, well, and foremost, create and join your team on lablab.ai. And I cannot stress this enough. This is the difference between doing a project alone at home and being part of a community using other people's knowledge and skills. Like, this is exactly why we are building this platform. Use this opportunity as much as you can. Look for partners, look for people who are like-minded, who want to create something really, really cool, who want to put in the time and effort to feel like real craftsmen building something awesome. And try, as Matthias said before, if you're a team of developers, look for somebody who's good at business. Perhaps you'll need somebody to make the presentation at the end for you. Look for somebody who's good at marketing. Just because it's a good idea doesn't mean it's going to sell well. Maybe there's a salesperson within the chat. So if you can form an idea and get the A to Z within this community, that's exactly what we were hoping and dreaming for. So make sure to meet your team and connect on Discord. And it's always good to have 2 or 3 ideas that you can sort and pick. And because even the best idea might not be feasible to build, so it's really good to have 2, 3 concepts and then communicate with the mentors and check with them if it's feasible to build a proof of concept within the allocated time frame. And then obviously we will proceed to build the prototype and to present your solutions at the very end in order to win the awesome prizes that are available. So in order to create or join the team, you can look at the team channel on lablab AI Discord server, or you can create a new team or join on lablab AI event site, so within the website itself. So the most important thing for this event is probably to connect your Discord to your lablab AI profile in order for you to be together with your team on the same channel, because those are created automatically on Discord. So make sure you connect it. Communicate with your mentors, as I said before. It's really the whole idea is to learn new things and to try new things and to get as much knowledge out from the people that are trying to help you. So be sure to reach out to the mentors and pull their tongue a little and have them tell you exactly what they think the strong sides are, and of course take it with a grain of salt. If you strongly believe in your idea, then go with it and go with your gut feeling. But if the mentor has a strong opinion about it, then probably there might be something behind it. And in order to communicate with mentors, you can join Cohere's community Discord server within the highlighted link, and you can ask questions with *ask Cohere channel. And just a small request, don't use this channel for organizational questions like what time something is happening, because that is strictly for mentors and for technological questions. So use calling for help in the team page as well if, well, you need help. So every great concept needs a great presentation in order to be sold to the jury and the judges. So we kindly ask you to include what have you built. A demo of your prototype is absolutely essential, and an understanding of the process of building the prototype. How did you come to the conclusion that it should be, this kind of system? Why is it eliminating certain kinds of outcomes? And always, as I said, it's not a complete project or proof of concept if it doesn't have a business plan. So it would be fantastic if you were able to say, like, why is this going to disrupt the industry? How is this exactly going to change the way people do business today? How is this going to impact the communication within certain social media, perhaps? If you can have a vision already along with the idea, then this is something the judges will find very pleasing. So there's two possible ways of presenting, as I mentioned before. One of them is you can upload your video through the submission in the lablab.ai website. And the request is that it's no longer than 5 minutes. So you will need to be very concise and very brief, because 5 minutes is not a whole lot of time to give a demo presentation and also to explain the concept and the path that has been trod to find that concept, and to give an explanation on the business ID side. So definitely 5 minutes is not a very long time, so we strongly ask you to be as specific as you can. However, if you're afraid that you're not going to fit within the 5 minutes, or if you're afraid that for whatever reason you'll just feel better doing it live instead of having it recorded, then you can present it on Twitch on Sunday evening. And in order to do so, please reach out to @Kuba lablab.ai on Discord. Okay, so the challenge for this event, which is probably something that most of you are interested in, is open. So you can go as crazy as you want. The only thing that we're going to rate as a bonus is the use of the classify from Cohere in the most innovative and useful way. So we strongly encourage you to be as creative as you possibly can. And, with all the art, music, with everything that contains text within the human culture, there are endless, I believe, opportunities to create something truly unique and groundbreaking. And yeah, wow us, just go crazy, create something incredible. So I believe I'm not going to do a very good job explaining Cohere's classify, and that's why I cheated a little and I asked Hamut earlier to explain it. So we've already had that, and I'll just remind you guys that this is definitely a way to understand and better select how text is represented. So what are the emotions behind it? What was the intention? It can be sorted and it can be done a lot faster. So it's definitely a great tool for understanding, for quicker communication within a large set of text. But it's not just that. I mean, probably what I'm saying right now is a few percent of how it can be used. And you guys should show us exactly how creatively this can be applied. So how are we going to evaluate your submissions? The degree of completion, of course, is going to be crucial. The presentation style is going to have an impact. How we can apply this idea or this proof of concept within the market. The degree of innovation, so has this been seen before? Has this been applied by any other company? The technology and a realistic capability for scaling. AI is going to be king because it can be scaled. So the more your model can be scaled to mass production, to mass use, to huge servers, the higher our rating for it is going to be. And of course, the more you use Cohere's classify, the more bonus points you'll receive, and the overall impression and likability of the project. Because of the number of participants of this event, thank you guys for being here. We are not expecting to be able to immediately judge all of your submissions on Sunday. So most likely, we will be looking at the end of next week for a proper evaluation, just to be fair for everybody. And we'll give Cohere's team time to check everybody's submissions and announce the winner. What are the prizes? What are we fighting for? So the top 3 teams are going to receive something very cool. The first place is going to go home with $5,000 in Cohere credits and some wonderful, wonderful, Cohere merch. Second place is going to come home with $2,000 in Cohere credits and some nice merch. And third place is just going to have to settle with the nice merch. Well, what can I say? All the winning teams will have the chance to meet Cohere's product manager for virtual coffee. So definitely, guys, if you submit and you create something really, really cool, there can be a potential for it going somewhere. All right. Remember that you can get yourself started and check out how to exactly use Cohere's technology with our tutorials and boilerplates, which can be found in the Tech Cohere part of our lablab.ai website or in the tutorials section within the lablab.ai Discord. And if you need additional help, just remember that we're here to help you. So reach out on Cohere AI Hackathon 3 channel. You can write in the Discord, I need help channel, or you can direct message Kuba at lablab.ai. That's it for me. And I'm handing you over to our wonderful Sandra. Sandra, do you have you here?
Hello, yes. Okay.
Wonderful, wonderful. So that's everything from me. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful weekend and very productive, very creative, very cool. And Sandra, everything's in your hands now.
Awesome, thank you. All right, folks. So I am going to give you a little bit of an overview of who we are as a platform. Can you see my screen? Can you let me know if you can see my screen? Okay, awesome. So let's get going. I'm Sandra. I'm looking after community at Cohere. And I want to give you sort of the basics, the high-level overview of our API, the capabilities that are inherent in our platform, and also show you some cool examples of what kind of stuff we also internally as a team are building, and what kind of stuff I think you can build as well within this intense hackathon period of time. A little background, I recently wrote a manual book on GPT-3. I'm really excited about large language models in general. I think they're like this huge, big movement that is happening within AI overall, but for sure within the natural language processing part of AI. I'm also running a YouTube channel where I explore these models in depth and different types of use cases. And I also work at Cohere, and I really love that because it gives me the ability of working directly with folks such as Hyman, whom you have met just a little bit earlier before, that are working on distributing these large language models via a simple to use API with the mission to give an access to it for anyone out there that wants to build stuff, build some sort of software. We want to make it so easy so that you can access it without any AI background whatsoever and use these powerful large language model capabilities that come with it. So large language models is something I've been talking about a lot. Perhaps you know, perhaps you don't. So if you don't, you have for sure lately on LabLab Discord, for example, but also generally out there seen some image generation stuff using different types of prompts. Here is a prompt with a hacker cat, which is really cute. That's why I used it for this example. This was generated by DALL-E, but there are other models provided by Midjourney or Stable Diffusion. And so this is an example of image text to image type of model, which basically tries to understand the relationship between the incoming text, inputted text, and then the outputted image, and then based out of that, sort of create the best possible image based out of the text you're inputting. So the core of it is actually language itself. It's not visuals. And so large language models are the basis of many different types of applications and capabilities that we are seeing out there that are really exciting and that are happening right now, and we are exploring more and more of them with, I don't know, text to voice recently, or text to video. I think Meta recently, like yesterday, released a model like this. So super exciting things are happening in this area. At Cohere, we are focusing on language as the core, as the heart of it all. And these are key large language model capabilities. As you can see, they're extremely broad. You can create successful search engines with it. You can classify stuff, which is the theme of today's hackathon. You can cluster topics, articles into interesting, you can cluster all sorts of like archives and create all sorts of interesting explorations of human knowledge for Reddit or for Hacker News. You can extract information from documents, you can generate text, rewrite it, summarize it, etc. So these are just the key capabilities that are out there. And at Cohere, we are focusing on first text generation, which is how you can access it via code generate. And the use cases that are possible are generation, summarization, paraphrasing text, extracting information from the text. Text generation is basically a very sort of intuitive idea where you just input certain text, and from the model, you get the output in the form of text as a result, and this text is being generated by the model. And the model is basically trying to guess what would be the next best text generated that would follow the inputted initial text of yours. So quite a intuitive idea. In terms of the inputs, the good way to think about it is that you don't want to settle for the very first input from your model. You want to ask it a couple of times to generate certain things, and then choose out of these things the top of what you're looking for. So every time you're generating something, make sure to create a bunch of outputs and then go for the best output. Super important idea around this is prompt engineering. This is basically how we communicate with the model. Prompt engineering, as you can see here, is, by the way, I really recommend you to read our docs on this. We have a really great doc here. I'm gonna send you the link after I stop talking. Basically, prompt engineering is about describing what you're looking for, what type of task you're looking for from the model, and then trying to give it as much context as possible for the model to successfully fulfill this task. So, for example, if you're looking for, let's say, a summary of a longer article, what you would want to input is first, give the model this longer piece of text that you want to summarize, and then add something like in summary, or too long didn't read, or to summarize. And then the idea is that the model will take it, will understand that you're looking for the shorter version of it, and as a completion will output the summarization of the text that you wanted to summarize. There are also other ways to structure the prompt successfully. So I want to just give you a little overview of like the most common ones. Very good way to work with prompts is to create lists. So for example, this is our playground. If you haven't been there yet, I am at the generate endpoint. Playground is like this super easy sandbox that allows you to play with our endpoints without necessarily having to use code upfront. You can just play with it and then sort of export the code once you're happy with the outcome. So in terms of the list, you want to give the model like a task description, at least one line task description of what you want it to do. So in this case, I wanted the model to understand that these are examples of creating Pokemon names from normal words. And then after this task description, I created a list where I show a bunch of examples in which normal words such as toaster, flower, car, etc. are turned into Pokemon names. So finally, the last thing is you give it an example of this normal word, and then you ask it to generate Pokemon name out of it. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. Not necessarily the best Pokemon name up front, but let's generate another one. Crackmon. Okay, a little bit better. Clubmoose. Chariot. Okay, I think this is my favorite. So see, like you need to give it a little bit of a like trials a couple of times in order for you to find like the best version that you're looking for. So those don't settle for the first one. So yeah, lists like that are really a handful. Another example would be, again, if we are looking for generating a piece of content, you want to give it task description and then a couple of examples of the exact blog paragraph related to the exact title, audience, and tone of voice that you're looking for. And then the model, thanks to that, will better understand what you're looking for. Important parameters to take into account are for sure here model size. Typically, X large works the best, so I recommend it. But large can work decently as well and might be faster. So it depends on your use case. And another one is temperature. So the higher the temperature, the more creative the generation will be. So again, depending on your use case, you want the model to be more creative or less creative. Please explore this example presets here because they're a really nice basis for potential use case to be built. So go ahead and sort of play with it. Yeah, okay. Coming back. So another thing we do at Cohere is text representation. And the idea here is basically whereas text generation is about giving the model the text input and then asking it to generate another text as an output, in text representation, we give the model the text input and we ask it to give us the numeric representation of it, which gives us numeric representation, which sort of encompasses a lot of the meaning behind this text, with which we can later manipulate. There are a bunch of ways to create classifiers, if you're interested in that. One way to do it is few-shot classification. So if you want the model to, if you want to create like the basic, the easiest classifier out there, you just give the model a bunch of examples with the labels that you're interested in. So for example, let's say we're building Twitter sentiment analysis classifier. We take to the playground a bunch of tweets and we assign labels such as neutral, positive, or negative. And then we give it a tweet and then ask it to assign it a label itself. And that should work relatively well. So you can actually go and try it. Depending on your use case, again, it might work or it might need more work. Another way to build a classifier is to use the embed endpoint and to build a simple classifier using linear regression. And another one is fine-tuning a model. So I don't think I want to sort of give you, I don't want to spend more time on fine-tuning. The reason for that is because I want you to focus on the stuff that you can do within the hackathon period of time. And I think fine-tuning might take a little bit too long time for that. So I think you should definitely focus your energy on using the classify and just a bunch of examples, and also focusing on text generation and on building prompts and sort of manipulating these with these endpoints, combining them together and building something cool. Okay, let me show you some stuff that we have built, because at Cohere, we're also building stuff just for fun. This is an example of an application that is using Streamlit. You have among your hackathon resources a guide on how to use Streamlit to build a simple demo. I really love this framework because it just allows you to not care about front end at all and build stuff and sort of demo stuff very easily with Cohere. So here we have an example of a demo app that our ML engineer Adrian built using affirmations coming from our co-founder Ivan. Ivan is really known for being a super positive person, and also he's super active in the channel. We have a Cohere channel called Affirmations, and we come up with like fun stuff there, and he's like killing it always. Like he's really, his mind is extremely wired for creative affirmations. So Adrian went and built an affirmation bot that sort of generates new affirmations that are in the style of Ivan by providing by creating a prompt where he provided a couple of examples of such affirmations, and now the model is just able to generate them on its own. So the one example is we're only able to feel secure when we realize we're truly alone. Another one would be, I don't have to follow the path, I can make my own path. You get the idea. Basically, the model is now really good after having a bunch of examples from the real Ivan, our co-founder, to create similar type of affirmations that he would perhaps create. So that's one fun and really, really simple thing that you can build with Cohere. Another thing that a friend of mine built is data idea generator. So the premise here is that modern dating is complicated and sometimes you run out of ideas of what to do. So why don't you ask AI what to do for your date instead? And so you can give the model the type of restaurant you're looking for. So let's say it's Japanese, and let's see what it will come up with. Hopefully something related to that. It's still working. Let's try outdoor days. Sometimes when you demo things in real life, they don't work. It's actually very often that it happens. So let's move on to another one. What is the weather like? It's cold. At least that's what happens right now in Europe. I don't know about your place. Hopefully this will work. Might be that it needs a bit more time as well. Maybe gift ideas. So here we give the personality of the giftee, fun and chill. Name Adrian. Okay, we have the gift idea, a watch, and a video of puppy playing with a stick. That sounds lovely. All right, so another one, this is actually something that I'm working on. This is a Pokédex that uses AI in various ways. First of all, there's a image recognition API. Then our Cohere generate uses the label that image recognition comes up with, and then creates a new Pokemon based out of the photo, and then creates the description of the Pokemon based out of the Pokemon name that it just created. So let's try it. Smiley. Description. This Pokemon's heart is so huge that it can fit a whole human inside. Type normal. Very cute. All right. I'm gonna release it soon. I'm still working on it, but yeah, that's another way to just like combine different types of tools, APIs, and create something fun using Cohere. So yeah, okay. Next steps. I really want you to make sure to join our Discord. we love to interact with you. There is a bunch of channels where you can share your work, share your progress on what you're working on. We are waiting for you on the Ask Cohere or any sort of mentorship. So when you go there on our Discord, you will see a bunch of people coming from our team, from engineering, from business, that are ready to brainstorm with you, troubleshoot with you, and come up with like the best possible ideas out there. So make sure to go and sort of use there as your resource. I think it's more fun always to engage with mentors. You learn more that way. Yeah, have fun. I hope it's going to be awesome for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and build with Cohere API. I hope it's going to be a great experience for you. Let us know how we can help if we can. And yeah, go and explore. Thanks so much.